Hi there, it's Teacher Jocelyn. I have an old one for you today. This one is called Best Friends for Francis. It's by Russel Hoban and pictures by Lillian Hoban. And this book was written quite a while back, 1969. That was before I was born, a good deal before I was born. And one of the things I love about this book that you notice is that the kids are allowed to walk around all by themselves. They don't bring their mom and dad everywhere they go like we do so much more today. And I think it's kind of a neat thing about this book. Imagine what it was like when kids were just allowed to go adventuring all by themselves. It was a pleasant summer morning, so Frances took her bat and her ball and some chocolate sandwich cookies and went outside. Will you play ball with me? Frances's little sister Gloria called to her as she was leaving. No, said Frances, you're too little. Gloria sat down on the back steps and cried. Frances walked over to her friend Albert's house, singing a little song. Sisters that are much too small to throw or catch or bat a ball are really not much good at all, except for crying. When Frances got to Albert's house, he was just coming out and he was carrying a large, heavy-looking brown paper bag. Let's play baseball, said Frances. I can't, said Albert. Today's my wandering day. Where do you wander? Asked Frances. I don't know, said Albert. I just go around till I get hungry and then I eat my lunch. That looks like a big lunch, said Frances. It's nothing much, said Albert. 4 or 5 sandwiches and some apples and bananas and 2 packages of cupcakes and a quart of chocolate milk. Can I wander with you? Asked Frances. I only have one lunch, said Albert. I'll bring my own, said Frances. I'll run home and get it right away. No, said Albert. I think I better go by myself. The things I do on my wandering days aren't things you can do. Well, like what? Said Frances. Catching snakes, said Albert. Throwing stones at telephone poles. Little frog work, maybe. Walking on fences. Whistling with grass blades. Looking for crow feathers. I can do all that, said Frances. Except the frog work and the snakes. That's what I mean, said Albert. I'd have to ruin the whole day showing you how. I'll see you tomorrow. And then Albert went off to wander, and Frances walked slowly home with her bat and ball, singing, Fat boys that eat too much lunch can't do a thing but munch and crunch and play with snakes and frogs. When Frances got home, Gloria said, Will you play ball with me now? You can't bat and you can't catch, said Frances. And you can't throw either. I can if you stand close, said Gloria. All right, said Frances, and she played ball with Gloria. The next morning, when Frances went to Albert's house, Albert was playing ball with his friend Harold. Can I play? Asked Frances. She's not much good, said Harold to Albert. And besides, this is a no-girls game. Can't I play? Said Frances to Albert. Well, it is a no-girls game, said Albert. All right, said Frances. Then I'll go home and play a no-boys game with my sister Gloria, Mr. Fat Albert, so ha ha ha. Frances walked home, and as she walked, she sang, Boys to throw and catch and bat are all the friends that Mr. Fat Albert will have from now on. He will not have me. Boy, she's being pretty insulting. When Frances got home, Gloria said, How'd you play so fast at your home so soon? It was a fast game, said Frances. You're lucky that you have a friend to play with, said Gloria. I wish I had a friend. I thought Ida was your friend, said Frances. Ida's away at camp, said Gloria. And when she's here, she only wants to play dolls or tea party. She never wants to catch frogs or play ball. Can you catch frogs? Asked Frances. I use Father's old hat, said Gloria. Shall I show you how? Later, said Frances. Do you want to play ball? All right, said Gloria. If any boys come, they can't play, said Frances. And I think I will be your friend now. How can a sister be a friend? Asked Gloria. You'll see, said Frances. For frogs and ball and tea parties and dolls? Said Gloria. Yes, said Frances. And will you show me how to print my name? Said Gloria. And tell me what the letters and numbers say when I make letters and numbers? Yes, said Frances. Then you will be my best friend, said Gloria. Will it just be today or for longer? Longer, said Frances, and today we're going to do something big with no boys. What? Said Gloria. We'll have an outing, said Frances, and there will be a picnic and songs and games and prizes. Mother helped Frances and Gloria get everything ready and packed in Frances's wagon. Best friends outing, no boys. Then Frances and Gloria went on to the outing in the wagon was a picnic lunch with in a hamper. There was also 2 burlap sacks for the sack race, an egg for the egg toss, and a jar with 2 frogs in it that Gloria had caught for the frog jumping contest, and there were balloons and lollipops for prizes. Frances had made a sign to carry on the outing too. Best friends outing, no boys. Frances and Gloria held the sign high as they passed Albert's house, and Frances sang, "When best friends have an outing, there are jolly times in store. There are games and there are prizes, and there's also something more. There's something in a hamper that's very good to eat. When best friends have an outing, it's a very special treat with no boys." "What's in that hamper?" asked Albert as he came running out of his house. "I don't know," said Frances. "Nothing much. Hard-boiled eggs and whole fresh tomatoes, carrot and celery sticks. There are some cream cheese and chive sandwiches, and I think cream cheese and jelly sandwiches too, and salami and egg and pepper and egg sandwiches, coleslaw and potato chips, of course, ice-cold root beer packed in ice, and watermelon and strawberries and ice cream for dessert. And there are other things I forget, like black and green olives and pickles and popsicles and probably some pretzels and things like that. And there are salt and pepper shakers and napkins and a checked tablecloth, which is the way girls do it." "Could I come along on the eating?" said Albert. "You mean outing," said Frances. "Outing, I mean," said Albert. "Could I come along? The wagon looks heavy to pull. You'll probably get all tired out unless I help you." "Oh, I don't know," said Frances. "You can see from the sign that this is a no boys outing and it's only for best friends." "What good's an outing without boys?" said Albert. "It's just as good as a ball game without girls," said Frances, "and maybe a whole lot better." "Can't I be a best friend?" asked Albert. "I don't think it's the kind of thing you can do," said Frances, "and it would ruin my whole day to have to explain it to you." I can do it," said Gloria. "I can be a best friend, and I can catch frogs too." "I can catch frogs and snakes," said Albert. "Let him be a best friend," said Gloria, "and he can teach me how to catch snakes." "I'll get my pillowcase right now," said Albert. "Well, I'm not sure," said Frances. "Maybe you'll be best friends when it's goodies in the hamper time, but how about when it's no girls baseball time?" When we're best friends, there won't be any no girls baseball," said Albert. "All right," said Frances, and she crossed out the no boys on the sign. And then they started off again. Albert heard the wagon to the outing place while Frances and Gloria walked ahead with the sign. The outing place was at the maple tree on the hill by the pond. Everybody had a good time there. First Albert caught a snake for Gloria, and then they played games. Gloria won the sack race, Frances won the egg toss, and Albert won the frog jumping contest with a fresh frog he caught right there at the pond. So everybody won a prize, and then Frances made up a party song and everybody sang it. "When the wasps and the bumblebees have a party, nobody comes that can't buzz. When the chicks and the ducklings have an outing, everyone has to wear fuzz. When the frog and the snake have their yearly clam bake, there's plenty of wiggling and hopping. They splash in the pond and the marshes beyond, and everyone has to get sopping." I'm making up these songs as we go, the tune part. "And at the best friends outing," said Albert, "everyone has to eat, don't they?" "Yes," said Frances and Gloria, and they opened the hamper. "Maybe we packed too much," said Frances. "I'm not sure we can eat it all." "That's what friends are for," said Albert, as he quickly spread the tablecloth. "I'll help you finish it all." And that's what Albert did, and when the picnic was over, the hamper was not heavy at all. "I call that a good outing," said Albert, and he gave Frances and Gloria a ride in the wagon while he pulled it all the way home. The next morning, Albert came over with a bunch of daisies for Frances. "What are the daisies for?" asked Frances. "Well," said Albert, "we're best friends now, and I'm a boy, so that makes me your best boyfriend, and that is why I brought you the daisies." "Thank you," said Frances, and then Gloria sat down on the steps and cried. "Why are you crying?" asked Frances. "Because now you have Albert to be your best boyfriend and bring you flowers and play ball with," said Gloria, "and you won't be my best friend anymore." "Yes, I will," said Frances, "and besides, I'm not so sure that I'm going to let Albert be my boyfriend." "Then let him be mine," said Gloria. "Not so fast," said Frances. "It was only yesterday you got big enough to play baseball." "But I'll give you half the daisies Albert gave me." So Frances gave Gloria half the daisies, and Gloria stopped crying. And then Harold came over, and everybody played baseball, even Gloria too. What do you think? the kids all get to do all those adventures all by themselves. It's kind of neat. All right, see you next time for more stories.